Welcome to the 5th installment of Achilles versus the Dread, so the very basic configuration yet again. In the past matches we have done tiny or not so tiny mistakes, and as a solo player that wants to beat the game with the rules as written and not just have fun in quotes, I do not count them as wins yet, so this is why I will try yet again. I hope I know enough about the game by now to have a decisive victory without making any mistakes, but unfortunately I have to correct multiple things of my last run, or the last runs in total, that I did not yet fully play correctly. Sadly enough, this is about Achilles tokens, so the randomizer to begin with. I played wrong, so if I guessed the token type correctly, I pulled from the bag. I gain a token, but it's not placed in the bag, it's played in the token pool. At first it sounds like I made it harder on myself, but it's really hard to judge, because adding a token to the bag can prolong your run. If you have to take it to your pool, it might go to waste. It might be better, but it might be worse. It's just different, and it's not what randomizers should do. Also, the Warhammer is a very powerful token, but it does have the restriction that you cannot stay any other enemies with lasers this turn. So that's a very hefty downside that I definitely did not take into account. So I did play the other games far too easy. Let's see if we can have a match where all the rules are taken care of and I still beat the mothership in this very basic configuration. As usual, before the game starts, I get a skill. So the choice is between Loop Around and Fateful Lasers. So we've played with Fateful Lasers a lot already. Loop Around means that I can return tokens to the bag in step 4, so in the pilot plans, and draw other tokens instead, and it requires me to discard one maneuver token permanently from the game. I think I will stick with what I know, so I will take Fateful Lasers. And Loop Around goes below the pile. My first pilot planning gives me 2 lasers, a maneuver token, a Warhammer and an energy. The first enemy arrivals are a mercenary, a fury, a reaver and a viper. So the reaver needs to be taken care of because it would discard all laser tokens at the end of the turn. And I have to keep in mind, as I just read up, that using the Warhammer would mean I cannot stun any other ship with lasers this turn. Seeing that all these ships need 2 maneuver tokens, it sounds unreasonable to also evade them all. But that would not be necessary. If I have Warhammer 1, I could try to outmaneuver 3 of the others. If I draw more maneuver tokens, which I could try by either Warhammering the Fury or the Viper. I cannot activate Fateful Lasers yet. If I could, this would mean that I can actually destroy 2 other ships with just these 2 laser tokens. In total, I think it might be the best plan to Warhammer the Fury, to draw 3 more tokens, and then see if I get another energy to destroy the other ships. And then I can assign a maneuver token to the Reaver where it will not be discarded. That sounds like a good plan. So let's do that. I'm Warhammering the Fury. It's destroyed. I draw 3 tokens from the bag. So I got a lot more energy and 1 maneuver token. The Warhammer token is discarded, but I have to keep in mind that lasers do not stun this turn. But I think I will just activate the Fateful Lasers. Let's do it with the 1 energy tokens, which means these 2 tokens count double. So I can destroy these 2, which would make me draw. That's the only sad thing about this. And I could even evade the Reaver, but it would also make me draw. So do I want to do that? I could evade this one instead, but then this would not stun the Reaver. I would get damage to my shield. Okay, so I think there is no way to avoid drawing again, because if I assign a maneuver token here, I cannot evade the Viper. Well, I could leave it like that, but then the Fateful Laser would really be wasted. But that could be a strategy as well. So I could not activate it. Instead, blast down the mercenary, so no need to stun it. And then use the 2 maneuver tokens to stun these 2 enemies. And this would also not be discarded because it's not a laser. That would mean that I could hold on to a bit of energy, probably 2. Actually, let's do it like this. I do not want to buy anything yet. So I charge or activate the Fateful Lasers, but I do not use it yet. And I keep that in my hold. This would mean that the mercenary is destroyed. I get 1 level 1 energy token. And these 2 in the enemy attacks are stunned. Alright, so this brings me to pilot planning, where I draw the next 5 tokens. And there are not enough in the bag, so this is not a good strategy. Okay, so the problem with this assignment is that I started with 11 tokens. I just added 1 energy token, so it's 12. But I have drawn 3 by destroying the Fury. So I've already seen 8 of the 12 tokens. So drawing now would give me only 4 and the warp would end. So I do have to buy something. So I think I will still hold on to this level 2 energy, but I will buy a level 2 laser probably, or a maneuver token. Let's do a maneuver token because I have already started evading these enemies. And I only start with 3, so if I buy one, I will be able to evade them both. But I'm not sure if I actually want that, because getting a photon blast would be superior to drawing. So what's still in the bag? There should be two more laser tokens, one maneuver token, and the energy I just bought. So the lasers will be 3, which would mean I could destroy the Reaver. The maneuver token means I can evade this one, which would add 2 tokens to the bag. And then I have 2 more enemies coming, so I might take shield damage in this case. Unless I can activate Fateful Lasers, and let's try that. I will add a laser token to the bag, because Fateful Lasers will double it, and I do not want really to evade the Reaver. Okay, so I've bought instead of activating Fateful Lasers. So now I have 5 tokens in the bag. We already did the enemy actions, so we are back to the pilot plans, which draws 5 tokens from the bag, which is exactly the content of the bag as planned. The new enemy arrivals are a Scout and a Vengeance. Okay, so now, since I am no longer bound by this Warhammer restriction, I can stun enemies with lasers, that's good. I really want to evade the Viper to get a level 2 laser. Let's plan that. If I then activate Fateful Lasers, this will be enough to destroy the Vengeance. This will be enough to destroy the Reaver, and this will be enough to destroy the Scout. This would actually add 4 tokens to the bag. So if I buy one more token, I could play another round. Okay, so let's activate Fateful Lasers. The Viper's evaded, for which I did not actually need that, but nevertheless, I get a level 2 laser token. The Viper's destroyed. I destroy the Reaver, which gives me a Photon Blast, which I add to the bag. This laser token counts double, then destroys the Vengeance, which gives me a level 3 laser token, which I add to the bag. And this destroys the Scout, which gives me a level 1 laser token. So now I've added 4 tokens to the bag, and the question is, do I want to buy a level 1 laser token? That's the only thing I can afford. And I think I would like to try this, just to progress, to get even more rewards. Maybe it will all be harder enemies, but I feel I've added so many laser tokens and I have Fateful Lasers that in the next warp, if I see them earlier, this could be beneficial. Let's see if this turns out to be a bad decision. So I'm buying another laser token. In the enemy attack phase, there's nothing to do. So again, I'm drawing all 5 tokens in the pilot plans. So it's firepower only. The enemy rivals are a Torment, a Marauder, a Juggernaut, and as a first level 3 enemy, it's a Destroyer. So destroying these 2 will only draw me, which could be interesting if I time it correctly. The Juggernaut has the special ability that I cannot attack it with level 1 lasers. That's okay. And this ability cannot be stunned. And the Destroyer has no special properties as well. So obviously evading is out of the question because I have no maneuver tokens left. And my total firepower is 4 from Photon Blast divided to 2 enemies, adjacent enemies. And then I have another 4 and 3, which brings the total up to 11. So I can pretty much decide where I want to spend that. For example, this could be destroyed, Photon Blast placed in the middle. And then, well, I could not divide it properly because the level 1s will not work. But then again, destroying these 2 is not the optimal choice anyway, because I would only get an overdrive token, which I immediately draw, which would not be able to evade both enemies or outmaneuver them. Unfortunately, these 2 enemies have 13 health in total, so I won't be able to destroy them both. All the enemies can be stunned, so that's not a problem. Okay, so if I do not want to draw, well, drawing doesn't do much for me unless I add something first. So I think I will have to go here with the Photon Blast to start stacking damage. Going up to 7 would mean that's 5, that's 7. That would destroy the Destroyer, which gives me 2 tokens as a result. And then I would only be able to stun the Torment and the Marauder to not get any shield damage. So I do not need to remove any tokens from my game. The alternative would be to destroy the Juggernaut to get an overdrive token, but I think the Destroyer is the better target here. Okay, so let's do that. So that's 7 damage to the Destroyer. I get a level 2 laser and a regular maneuver token. The Photon Blast is now on the Juggernaut, cannot be reassigned. And in the enemy attack phase, they are all stunned. Pilot plans means I cannot draw 5 tokens, so the warp ends here. Alright, so far so good I would say. I've added very good laser tokens to the bag. With Fateful Lasers, I think I have a combo going here. Added a maneuver token, that's nice to have. The level 1 energy, well, why not? Okay, so we add all the tokens back to the bag. There was nothing left to store in the hold. We are readying the Fateful Lasers. We are shuffling the enemies. So we already made it up to the last 2 level 3 enemies. Not sure if this was a good decision. Depends on the shuffle, I guess. So let's cut it and put it on top of the deck. Go to the next warp and see what skills we have. The decision is between the Dazzling Flare and the Respite Recharge. So the Dazzling Flare allows me to evade one enemy completely with just one maneuver token, but without getting any reward. The Respite Recharge means I can move one enemy from the row to the bottom of the deck, so to deal with it later. So my thinking here is that this might come in handy because I've already shuffled in a level 3 enemy and all level 2 enemies, so if I draw them early and have much energy lying there, then this might be able to repair that. It's also kind of evading the enemy, but I can get the reward later. This just means I don't have to deal with it, but it won't do anything for me either. But the thinking here might be that some of the level 2 enemies made me draw. So if I'm not blasting them down, but I can just discard them basically with just one maneuver token, that would be good because I'm actually skipping the draw, which is not always a benefit. I'm not actually sure what would be better here. Let's go with the Dazzling Flare. I've already added a maneuver token to my bag, and let's put the Respite Recharge at the bottom of the deck. So let's give the bag another good shuffle and draw my initial pilot plans. So I've drawn a very good amount of firepower, a little bit of energy, and I would also be able to activate the Dazzling Flare, but I could not activate Fateful Lasers yet. The enemy rivals are, well, the Destroyer right away, a Marauder, so a level 2 enemy, a Torment, also a level 2 enemy, and then a Viper. So this looks a bit daunting, but the Viper actually makes me draw and I can easily destroy it. So that might be a way to draw more tokens to deal with the rest. The alternative would be to just use the Dazzling Flare to get rid of one of these enemies that just make me draw, and just use the other tokens to stun, keep the energy and hold. And then just draw another 5 tokens. What's the better decision here? Well, if we draw enough maneuver tokens, we might get one of the better results here. That should be our goal, I think, because if we destroy everything, we'll just power through our bag without seeing all the other enemies and without actually building up strength. So this is, I think, where the Dazzling Flare comes in handy, because we will not be able to evade both, and destroying them, I'm not sure if this is good if we also have a Viper lying here. Evading the Destroyer would be cool to get a skill, but we don't have an Overdrive token yet, so this is really not in the cards currently. Okay, so there's actually no way to just stun the Viper with lasers because we did not draw any level 1. So if we are not using the maneuver token here, we have to destroy it anyway. I think I will just do that. I can't undo this because I am revealing information, but I think that's the better course here, to just draw 3 more tokens and see what we can then come up with as a strategy. So I'm blasting down the Viper, which makes me draw 3 tokens. So I've drawn 1 more energy, which means I can activate Fateful Lasers, 1 more maneuver token and a level 1 laser token. Okay, so the only ship I do want to destroy is actually the Destroyer. The other 2s I want to evade, because I really don't want to draw even more. Or do I? If I activate Fateful Lasers, drawing more would actually be good, would be efficient, but I risk overshooting and then just wasting tokens. And there's not much prizes to gain here. So I think I will work on evading one of these 2 enemies. And I think the level 3 laser is tempting, but if I'm going for 3 evasion, they both cost the same. I rather want 2 tokens, just a level 2 laser, but also a maneuver token. Because evasion really seems to be key here with this draw of level 2 enemies. Which means that this enemy I really do not want to kill, and I will not be able to evade it. That might mean I want to activate a Dazzling Flare. I can put it here to activate, not use it yet, but I probably will just evade that. And that would mean I have 6 lasers left to put to the Destroyer if I'm not activating Fateful Lasers. And this would more than stun the Destroyer. And I could put the energy to the Fateful Laser to activate it, which would mean I would not get any damage. I could work on evasion later. I can easily destroy it later. And I can actually just keep on to the level 3 to see, for example, I'm using Fateful Lasers next turn. I would only need a level 2 laser to destroy it. So let's do that. Let's use Dazzling Flare to evade the Torment without any reward. So it's used. I'm charging Fateful Lasers but not using it. I'm assigning these tokens here. In the enemy attack phase, the Marauder is stunned and the Destroyer is stunned as well by laser fire. The level 3 laser is in my hold. So the next pilot plans are some energy, a maneuver token, and 3 laser. The enemy rivals are a Vengeance, so yet another level 2, and a Scout. So there have to be some level 1 enemies still mixed in. I think at least 3 others, yes. So we should assign that here to work on evading the Marauder. The problem is the Vengeance really, because if I'm stunning it, it deals more damage. And in particular, it deals damage at all. Yeah. So this could mean that I should destroy it, but I won't be able to if I'm not activating Fateful Lasers. Well, I can destroy it, but I would not have enough firepower to deal with the rest. So let's move this back here and see what happens if we activate Fateful Lasers. As said, 2 lasers here would be enough to destroy the destroyer, because this is doubled, so it would be 7. This is dealt with. This would destroy the scout, and this would destroy the vengeance, even though it's total overkill. But I like that plan. So let's activate Fateful Lasers. So it's used. The destroyer has 4 plus 3, 7 damage. So it's also destroyed. I get a level 2 laser token and a maneuver token. The scout is destroyed. It gives me a level 1 laser token. And the vengeance is destroyed with 6 damage. And I get a level 3 laser token. So I'm really stacking up on these laser tokens. The Marauder is just stunned in the enemy attack phase. But before that, I will use my 3 energy to buy an overdrive. I really feel that's necessary to up my evasion game. So this goes to the back. Okay, so after the enemy attack phase, the next pile of plans are 1 maneuver token and lots of lasers. So this will allow me to finally evade the Marauder. But let's see the enemy rivals first. So there's a Mercenary, there's a Fury, and there's a Reaver. So now all the easy, quote-unquote, enemies are coming out. So the plan would be to evade that. Let's see if we then have enough to deal with the rest. So that could be go here. This could go here, but I would actually draw. So I have to keep that in mind. So probably destroying the Mercenary is better. And then just stunning this. Let's see how many tokens we still have in the bag. So that's definitely more than 5. So if we keep that for later to have a better turn where we draw everything, sounds actually like a good plan. So there's 3 enemies left. 2 of them are level 3. And if we destroy the rest, well, evade this, destroy this, and get another Photon Blast here, then we will reveal all those. And then in the next turn, we can just kill the Fury with a level 1 laser and draw maybe even more tokens to then deal with these complicated enemies. So that's a plan I like, and we are out of skills anyway. Okay, so 3 damage to the Reaver, destroys it, and gives me a Photon Blast. This 3rd maneuver token will evade the Marauder, so I get a level 2 laser token and 1 maneuver token. These 2 lasers will destroy the Mercenary, which gives me a level 1 energy token. And in the enemy attack phase, the Fury will be stunned with these 2 lasers. Which brings us to the pile of plans with a bag that still has lots of tokens in it. So 2 level 1 lasers, which 1 is enough actually to make me draw. 2 maneuver tokens, 1 energy. And the enemy rivals are the Juggernaut, a Siphon, and a Goliath. Okay, so the Goliath gives me access to Warhammers. I've learned that they are not as good as I thought before, but they are still very good. If you have enough firepower, who needs to stun with lasers? So evasion is only possible with the Juggernaut, or if I want the Fury, but that's quite pointless. Let's see how many tokens I have in the bag yet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a full turn. So if I draw 3, I would have to replace that if I want another turn. And that's pretty much impossible. So I think I'd rather draw them now. Without drawing them, well, actually, I could let the Fury live. Taking 1 shield damage would not be the end of the world. It could actually mean that I can get rid of like one of these smaller tokens. So it might actually be a plus. And if I then stun the rest, then I could just draw my 5 tokens without the need to draw those. And if I then start destroying stuff, I could actually destroy the Fury to draw it. Doesn't sound that awful actually. So at that point, I'm not really sure if I still have a maneuver token left. So if I want to go for an evade or not here. So the Juggernaut cannot be attacked by a level 1 laser, so I would have to assign a maneuver token anyway. So if I would want to destroy it, I would have to draw a lot of firepower. Otherwise, I would just in quotes get a level 2 laser, which is fine. So the Siphon just has special abilities depending on if I have shield or not, but I can stun it regular as with the rest. Which would mean I would not assign anything to the Fury, maybe the maneuver token. But then again, if I have to assign one here, I won't be able to ramp up 3 or 4. I think that's just not likely. So I could just assign it here and be done with the Juggernaut. I would then assign a level 1 laser here and here to stun them. I would not replace the Juggernaut, and the Fury would remain to drawing later on. Let's do that. So let's evade the Juggernaut, add a level 2 laser to the pool, which will help me shoot down more stuff. In the enemy attack phase, the Siphon is stunned. The Goliath is stunned, but the Fury actually deals 1 damage to my shield. And I'm using the opportunity to remove that from the game. And I'm this time laying it here so I do not accidentally shuffle it back in. This means I have now probably more than 5 tokens in the bag, and the pilot plans give me. Okay, so I have 2 lasers and a Photon Blast, an Overdrive, and a Warhammer. So we have to keep in mind that if I Warhammer anything, I can't stun with lasers, but that might not be a problem. And I have actually 2 tokens left in the bag. So if I add 1 more token and then destroy the Fury, that would be quite nice. Okay, so using the Photon Blast, I can just kill 1 enemy and then the Fury. And whatever enemy I kill, I will just draw the token immediately. Having a second Warhammer, will that help me? Well, it could help me. For example, if I Warhammer this Goliath, I will get another Warhammer. I can then draw it to destroy the Siphon. Then all the enemies are gone, and I can spend the rest of my tokens on the mothership. So I would need to Warhammer here. I would need some damage here. Then I draw the Warhammer and my other tokens. I Warhammer the Siphon. I get more tokens, which I don't draw. But I can then use the overdrive to evade 2 sections of the mothership. And with any luck, destroy 1 section of the mothership in my second warp. I think that's useful. And with these level 8, not level 8, but level 3 enemies with 8 hull, I don't see any other way to destroy them and deal damage to the mothership without using the Warhammer. And using the Warhammer will not be a problem, because I'm not stunning anything with lasers. The Dread cannot be stunned with lasers anyway, and all these enemies will be dead. So let's try that. So I'm Warhammering the Goliath. This goes here. This is discarded. And I get a W power token, which for the Achilles is a Warhammer token. I will then assign a laser token to the Fury. So it's a bit overkill, but 4 damage kills the Fury. I will draw 3 tokens, which should draw exactly the rest of the bag. Okay, so it does. All right. So now I'm using the Warhammer to kill the Siphon as well. I will recharge my shield and get a maneuver token, which I can add to the bag. Now the mothership is no longer protected. I can use the overdrive to evade 2 sections, and I have enough firepower to destroy one of the outer sections or even the inner section. Unfortunately, I do not have enough firepower to also destroy one of the outer sections. Then I would need a level 2 laser token instead. So what section do I want to destroy? Well, actually, the other 2 sections will become stronger once I defeat 1 section, and the overdrive can only evade 2 adjacent sections, so I have to defeat an outer section. And I think, seeing that I'm playing with Fateful Lasers and level 3 energy, I don't know. I think I will go here, play the Photon Blasts here, destroy the leftmost section with 6 damage. This is discarded. This stays with the middle section. I'm adding a level 3 laser token as a reward to the bag. But unfortunately, this will only bring the middle section to 6, or this section to 2, which doesn't do much. So I can think about if I want to hold this or the energy token. I could even instead hold on to a Photon Blast, which I think I will do. So this was actually then would need to go here. Let's not mangle this up. So I played a level 2 laser token that already was discarded and 2 Photon Blasts. If I take one back, this laser token has to go to the left section instead. But it's not relevant that this token was assigned here because it was left over anyway. And then I can keep a Photon Blast. So 2 level 2 lasers, Photon Blast is 6. As this left section is destroyed. The middle section only gets 2 damage, but it's irrelevant. I'm evading the rest of the mothership. This will go to waste because I'm not buying a level 1 laser for that. I'm holding on to the Photon Blast. Okay, and the bag is then almost empty. So it's 2 tokens, which ends the warp. All right, I'm quite content with how this went, actually. I will ready the Fateful Lasers and the Dazzling Flare. I will keep the Photon Blast and put the other tokens back into the bag. So we shuffle the full enemy deck, which we went through. So let's give it a final cut, place it here. We advance the warp counter and look what our third skill is. It's either the Asteroid Run or the Cleanerbot Steve. So the Asteroid Run we've already seen. It allows me to draw 3 tokens from the bag and then add them to the pool, which I think in combination with Fateful Lasers would be useful. And since I can charge them up in other turns, I can easily activate them at the same turn. And if you have many enemies that draw, so having more laser tokens that are doubled by Fateful Lasers sounds really good. I've never seen the Cleanerbot Steve, so it requires 2 energy to activate. And I can return 3 tokens from your discard to the bag, which prolongs the run. Okay, but I'm really tempted by Asteroid Run. Let's take that and do the Cleanerbot Steve to the bottom of the deck. Another good shuffle. First plans are. Alright, 2 Warhammer tokens already. A level 3 laser, a maneuver token, and 2 energy. So now I'm really hoping that I'm drawing all the really advanced level 3 enemies. The first enemy rival is a mercenary, so that's not level 3. A juggernaut, well, at least level 2. A viper, and a reaver. Okay, so this time I'm starting with the more easy enemies. Let's see. The Photon Blast could destroy the viper or the mercenary directly. If they would be adjacent, then they would be both killed. I cannot hold on to 2 Warhammers anyway. So I think I'm using one. And I should think as usual about drawing. Because if I destroy the viper, I will draw. There's no way around that. There's nothing I can evade with just one, unless I'm using the Dazzling Flare. So I should probably play the Photon Blast to destroy the viper and then see what happens. This time around, I would really like to get the overdrive token from the Juggernaut. Getting the Photon Blast from the Reaver will be good. So let's just put the Photon Blast here and destroy the Viper. Photon Blast will go here and I can't reassign it. And I will draw 3 more tokens. So a little bit of laser and one more maneuver token. That does give me more options. So I think I will Warhammer the Juggernaut and hold on to the second one for more advanced enemies. I think it's unavoidable that I will lose some tokens here that are just ineffective, but what can you do? So this will give me the overdrive. So one more damage will give me the photon blast. So it's the final one. 2 energy I can put on the fateful lasers to activate them. One of the maneuver tokens I can use to already activate the dazzling flare, which means I have to assign a level 3 laser token to the mercenary to destroy it and get a level 1 energy as a reward. And then the only 2 tokens I cannot really use are these 2, which are unfortunately wasted. Since I do not have another Warhammer in the bag, I think I want to hold on to it for these really hard level 3 enemies instead of a level 3 laser. Okay, enemy attacks are none. Pilot plans are an overdrive, a maneuver token, a little bit of laser, 1 energy. Enemy rivals are a Vengeance, a Torment, a Goliath, and a Marauder. So the only tricky enemy is the Vengeance, because I cannot just stun it. It will deal more damage instead. So this should be destroyed. If I destroy the Torment, I will draw. If I destroy the Marauder, I will draw. So I think I don't want to draw, which means I will probably Warhammer the Goliath to just get the last Warhammer. And then I cannot stun with lasers, which means that I would have to play it like this. Maybe activate the asteroid run, but not use it yet. Store level 2 laser. Assign that somewhere where I want to destroy it. For example, the Vengeance. The problem is that it doesn't matter if I stun with maneuvering or with lasers. It will just get angry and deal more damage. So if I'm not destroying it now, it will come back to bite me. But if I Warhammer it instead and move this here, I will have to defeat the Goliath with something else but a Warhammer. I think I will use the Flare again on one of those to not draw. I feel like I have enough firepower in the deck to warrant playing it like this instead. So using the Warhammer means I cannot, let's put that here to remind me of this, I cannot stun with lasers, but this destroys the Vengeance, gives me a level 3 laser. The overdrive and the maneuver token, doesn't really matter in which order I place them here, will stun everything, even though I've used the Warhammer. Well, I could think about using the Flare now, so I can actually stack 2 evasion tokens on one of the enemies. And I should actually do that. I should start stacking on the Marauder to get these tokens again and just use the Flare to get rid of the Torment. So the lasers, Fateful Lasers, I would really like to use with the Mothership and the Asteroid Run in the perfect world as well. So this could be assigned here because I'm not sure if I will evade it or not. So it doesn't go to waste and I stored it in the hold. All right, let's do that. So in the enemy attack phase, they are both stunned by outmaneuvering them. And this moves here, this moves here, this moves here. Pilot planning gives me a little bit of laser tokens, 1 maneuver token, which is enough to evade the Marauder, and 1 energy. The enemy rivals are a Scout and a Siphon. Okay, so I'm tempted to play that here because that would mean I evade the Marauder. I should really work on this Warhammer to have a chance to Warhammer the Siphon later. Maybe keeping back with the Fateful Lasers for the Mothership is not the winning plan here, because I have a lot of maneuver tokens, so I can probably evade the section I'm not destroying when I'm getting there. But if I activate those 2 now, I can probably just shoot down everything. The alternative would be to assign these 7 to the Goliath to get a Warhammer, but then I have nothing left really. And that's not a good plan. So if I instead activate Fateful Lasers, then getting to 7 damage would mean, since it's doubled, it doesn't matter, so assigning 4. This would then destroy the Scout, and this would also be half of the damage for the Siphon to also destroy it. So I think I will use the Asteroid Run first to draw 3 tokens from the bag and add them to my pool. All right, so that's what I was hoping for. Lots of more firepower. Do I need the Fateful Lasers or do I want to attempt it without it? Let's evade the Marauder first, because this is really done, I think. I don't want to do it differently. That gives me a level 2 laser and a maneuver token. If I'm evading the Goliath, I would get a laser token. Now, let's activate Fateful Lasers, which would mean that assigning 4 damage to Goliath is enough, assigning 4 damage to the Siphon is enough, and the Scout will just be obliterated anyway. 1 I could store, but the rest would go to waste. That doesn't sound that efficient. Let's try without activating the Fateful Lasers. So let's rewind that. So the Photon Blast is probably best kept here. This would give me 3, so I would in total, so 5 more would then kill it, so that's 8. 2 would get rid of the Scout, and this would mean I'm at 7 damage, which is actually okay. Or do I want to leave the Scout and destroy the Siphon instead? So there will be 1 more level 3 enemy, I should know what it is, but getting the Warhammer doesn't sound that appealing. And I feel like I should have more options to evade, especially if I kill the Siphon. I will have one more maneuver token. So what if we leave the Goliath for now? So that would be 8 for the Siphon. I'm storing this. The Goliath is stunned anyway, but to not lose it, I will assign it here. So this will defeat the Scout, giving me a level 1 laser. These 8 damage will destroy the Siphon, unfortunately, but I'm not going for an evasion strategy, unfortunately. So I will recharge my shield, which doesn't do anything. I will get a maneuver token to the back. The Photon Blast will go here, and I cannot reassign it. These are all discarded. And this, together with the Photon Blast, will stun the Goliath. So it's at 4 damage currently, and still just 1 maneuver token. The energy goes to waste, unless I want to buy a level 1 laser. Let's look what have I, not look, but feel what I have in the bag. So that feels like a lot of tokens. Do I want to buy a level 1 laser just to have a token more? Let's do it. Let's just buy a level 1 laser. Okay, so this was the enemy actions. Now I'm giving the bag a shuffle. Pilot planning. Okay, so 2 enemy, maneuver token, a little bit of laser. The enemy rivals are a Fury and a Destroyer. Okay, so the Goliath needs 4 more damage. This needs 7. This would need 3 if I'm not evading it. So I think I will activate Fateful Lasers now. Then I can use this 2 damage to destroy the Fury and draw. This gives me 3 more tokens to work with. An Overdrive and more lasers. Okay, to destroy... Well, do I want to destroy or do I want to evade? Destroying the Destroyer would take 4. For example, these. It's doubled to 8, which would destroy the Destroyer. I could then accumulate more evasion on the Goliath, keep the level 3 laser, and buy a level 2 laser token or a maneuver token. Let's go with the maneuver token, because this would be the final token I need to evade it, and it will come handy for the mothership as well. Okay, so the Fateful Lasers are still active, which means these 4 damage will be doubled to 8, destroying the Destroyer, which gives me another level 2 laser token and 1 more maneuver token. This will stun in the enemy attack phase the Goliath, bringing its maneuver value up to 3, so 1 more maneuver will evade it. That's the enemy attack, so Pilot Plans gives me lots of maneuvering and a little bit of laser. Okay, let's remove that from the hold. Let's play 1 maneuver here to evade the Goliath, which gives me a level 3 laser token to the back. That really feels good. So we pierce through the protection of the mothership. These 2 sections now have 3 damage. We just have to keep that in mind. But we are very well equipped to just evade the middle section and destroy the outer section, which would mean we can stun not stun, but assign 1 more damage to the middle section and keep that for the next round if we can't destroy it. So this will destroy the right Nordoster section, giving me a level 3 energy token. This should bring the bag content to 5 if it wasn't before, but I feel it's more than 5, much more. So this will evade it in the enemy attack phase, but the lasers will accumulate, so we only need 7 more. Pilot planning gives me some lasers, maneuver token, 1 more maneuver token, and 1 more laser. Okay, so this is only 5, 6 with the damage that's already there. We just accumulated all, assign 1 maneuver token, the other one goes to waste. So we will still get no damage, even though the middle sections would now deal 4 damage, but we are outmaneuvering it. The damage accumulates, and we are currently at 6 damage for the middle section. Which means if I have 5 tokens in the bag, I will probably win. Pilot plans are... Alright, so there's my damage, and there are tokens... Well, there's just 1 token in the bag. So this was... Well, it was not necessary to buy one. You can see that it might be a good idea to not just let 1 energy go to waste, but instead buy a laser token to prolong the run. But now we can just assign 2 more damage. And with the already assigned 6 damage, we reach 8 and destroy the middle section of the mothership and win the game. Alright, I think that went fairly well. I also feel that we reacted to the enemy ships in a proper way. We had, with the Dazzling Flare, an option to evade drawing tokens to not go too fast. The Fateful Lasers we could strategically use to reach higher damage numbers within the run when it mattered, not necessarily against the mothership, but then again the mothership sections are not that high. So if you have good laser tokens and a way to evade, you don't need it in the end. And the asteroid run complemented that so that we could have a really nice turn as well with it. Alright, so we've played around the limitation of the Warhammer, which meant that we only got 2 tokens this time, not went for all 3, because it has a downside that you have to play around. And we did avoid the randomizer completely this time, so there was no chance to misplay that. I really hope that I did not do any mistakes. Let me know if you see any. I will also look at the footage, of course. But I think that seals the deal for the Achilles versus the Dread. So this is a combination we, I think, without challenges, have down now. And again, we destroyed it in Warp 3. So there was a full warp ahead of us that we did not need, which I think is necessary if you would ever want to go to more complicated motherships or ships. See you in the next one.